Elmore Leonard is mostly known for his great adaptations such as Get Shorty or Jackie Brown or Out of Sight, but today, me and my co-host Judd are going to be talking about what we think are underrated adaptations.
So, most of you probably know some, if not all, the adaptations, starting way back when with, The Tall T and 310 to Yuma, going up to Justified, City Primeval, Justified, the other TV show, Split Images, Out of Sight, Get Shorty, Jackie Brown, etc., etc. But, is there one hidden gem? Is there something that has been underrated that is not? Because I think it's fair to say, we've talked about this a little bit, the most celebrated adaptations are Jackie Brown, directed by Quentin Tarantino, based on Rum Punch, Out of Sight, directed by Steven Soderbergh, Get Shorty, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, the Justified TV show. I think those are all sort of considered the four most successful adaptations.
They get praised enough. Today we're going to be talking about the lesser talked about ones.
That's exactly right. There's one that it was the first Elmore Leonard adaptation I ever saw. I saw it in the theater. I was not old enough to buy a ticket on my own. I was with my parents. And I don't really remember liking it. But today it is, in fact, my... it's not my favorite adaptation, but it's, I think, the most underrated and the most underappreciated. And that is 52 Pickup, directed by John Frankenheimer. It stars Roy Scheider and Margaret. John Glover, I believe. Is it John Glover?
Plays the villain, Alan Raimi.
There
is something about it. It's kind of like a slimy, dark thriller, but like so is the book. So
yeah, and it is. There's definitely moments, I think, both in the book and in the movie where you feel, whether it's the book, it's Elmore, whether it's the movie, it's Frankenheimer. There's certain sequences, there's certain scenes that are just those guys who are both as good as it gets, doing something they love in terms of how they tell a story. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. I think it came out in 1986.
The soundtrack is almost like a Tangerine Dream electronic synth soundtrack by a guy named Gary Chang, which is pretty cool. You know, Judd, I think there is a connection to you tangentially because fans of the show might know that you worked on the adaptation of Freaky Deaky.
I did.
And the director of that, Charlie Mathau, I believe he told me that his first kind of industry job was working for John Frankenheimer during Frankenheimer's Canon film years, which 52 Pickup was part of it.
It was a Canon film.
So we should ask him when we get him on the show. But I remember him saying, dealing with the Canon film people was terrible, but Frankenheimer knew how to do it, and he would say, they'd get these like endless stupid notes, and Frankenheimer would say to Golan and Globus, the guys who ran Canon Films, he'd say, "Yeah, that makes sense if you don't have a working brain."
One of the greats, John Frankenheimer. While we're talking about Frankenheimer and Canon Films, there is a documentary called, I believe it's called Electric Boogaloo. It's all about Canon Films, and we'll have a link to the trailer in the notes. But Alex, you tell me, what do you think is the most underappreciated, underrated Elmore Leonard adaptation?
My underrated pick would be the very first adaptation, which is The Tall T. It is based on a short story. It predates 310 to Yuma. I believe they're within a year of each other. But The Tall T is fantastic. It's just like a really great classic Western. Yeah. They kind of stuck to the story pretty close, except for the first 20 minutes has Randolph Scott like running around trying to catch a horse. And
you need a horse.
So it's kind of the worst part of the movie and doesn't exist in the story. But once the actual constraints of the story start kicking in, it's great. And
once transportation has been acquired, the movie's pretty good.
That one, it really is a great like survival Western. I wouldn't say it's unappreciated. It has a cult following. It's part of it's called the Renown Westerns. The director, Bud Buttaker, he has some big fans. He made a whole bunch of movies with Randolph Scott, and this is one of them. But this is the only Elmore Leonard movie among the bunch. But I think it's great, and certainly I think it's underappreciated.
That's fantastic. Thanks for joining, everybody. Please like, please subscribe. We have some awesome podcasts coming up. We've got more cool YouTube videos coming out. Please enjoy, and we'll see you next time. If you have a working brain. Did I get it right? The Elmore Leonard Podcast is produced and edited by Judd Rubin. Music by Greg Ahee. Hosted by Judd Rubin and Alex Leonard. Executive produced by Peter Leonard. Copyright 2025, Elmore Leonard Inc. Please visit us at elmoreleonardofficial.com or send us an email at hello@theelmoreleonardpodcast.com.